So we're going to talk about development in Asheville.
Yes,
Yeah.
overdevelopment.
Overdevelopment in Asheville. Montford residents will know that there's been a campaign recently to stop a proposed development that's just down the street from you, just like a block and a half that way.
It's on Broadway and Elizabeth.
It's on Starnes and Elizabeth Place.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
It's big. So
it's
probably
big.
on both.
Well,
it's not
yeah,
that big.
it's not. Well, and fortunately, it's right now dead in the water. So that was definitely a big example of how neighborhood activism makes a difference, in the sense that the plans are not. The plans are probably going to come back. Like, the developer who was trying to build this thing is probably not giving up on it, but their architect that they had for this round of the plans withdrew. And I think it's fairly safe to say that that was at least in part based on how much resistance, like, neighborhood people showed. There's like signs in people's yards about it. There was a petition. A couple people wrote letters to the editor. I wrote one of the letters that ended up in the Mountain Express that I think at least like laid out what the actual problems with it are. Because the big argument really is that, you know, we need affordable housing. All these people are moving here. Like, we do have to keep pace with the growth of the city, because we can't just like stop people from moving here because it's America. But that everybody is very inflexible when it comes to stuff being built in their neighborhood, you know, like and that's true, because that's just human, you know. Like, somebody on the Nextdoor social media app recently, like when it got announced that this plan was going away, they were like, well, I mean, is there ever a good housing development in Asheville? Like, she was kind of annoyed that this wasn't going through. And I just wrote back to her and I was like, I think it's always a little easier to advocate for development that's not happening on your block. You know, this lady complaining about it lives in like Beaver Lake. You know,
right.
It wasn't happening on her block. It wasn't going to screw her out of a parking spot. It wasn't going to, you know, raise the soil grade 28 feet next to her house. So easy for her to be like, no, you guys should allow that development to go through.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big problems we have just as a city and just like as people in general. Is like, we know there is a need. We kind of have to be willing to give a little bit in that respect. But it's always harder to be that flexible when it's staring you in the face. Like, when you're going to be the one living next to construction noise for 2.5 to 3 years, you know, that's a lot to ask of anybody.
So I know that they'll have a meeting with neighbors usually when they want to build something new or something like that. Everybody goes and tries to hear it out. Since it's mostly going to be the neighbors from the neighborhood, I would imagine most of them would not want some new thing.
Right. They're
but
probably,
we all are aware that, well, it's because it's your neighborhood and it's personal to you.
Right.
But what we're making is beneficial for reasons. So we're going to explain them, try to come to some compromise, but it doesn't really matter where the business, we're going to build it. We just want to make you seem happy. There's never been a law that says, you know, you have any right to peace or quiet when construction wants to happen at 7 a.m. next door to your house for forever. And something needs to be dealt with about that. I think when it comes to overdevelopment, especially when you're in a town that is known for nature or preserving buildings, things like that.
Right.
Even if it's growing, whether you want to or not, you have to look, do we need to build new structures? Should we build old structures?
Rehabilitate
the building,
old structures,
that's on Starnes and Broadway or whatever was built over an old building. It's not like they tore down trees or anything.
Right.
Actually,
exactly.
You know what?
Yeah.
We have that new weird intern field reporter. You want to go to his video, his live whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's check out what
the
development looks like. Yeah.
Okay, it's Dan. I'm at the beautiful construction site that they're doing here on Elizabeth Place. Overdeveloping. The sidewalk ended. So I'll just walk through here. I guess this is supposed to be the Greenway extension. Okay, let's see. Where's the damn sidewalk? Jesus Christ. Sorry. This is not what we need. Problems. And this is the beautiful overdevelopment. Here's the sidewalk. Here's the street. What am I supposed to do? Isn't it beautiful? This piece of shit. They left the fence open. Let's see what's in here. Beautiful. This is exactly what we want. As you can see, it's beautiful. Okay, I walked up the street. Now I'm at Broadway and Magnolia. Does anybody know what this is here? It's a park. It's supposed to be the park. Here's the park, see? I don't think it's fair. Anyone who thinks this is fair, comment, yay! It's beautiful. If it stays that way. That guy might get fired, but
yeah, whatever. I mean, it was kind of shaky camera footage, but yeah, he'll get better at it.
Yeah,
give him another chance. Yeah,
it was cool. He trespassed into the.
Yeah, trespassing. That part.
Was good.
That felt like real journalism. Reporting. Yeah, that felt good.
Okay, well maybe we'll have him do another one.
Yeah. Well, so the building that the footage showed with
the green with stuff on there now?
Yeah, that's all like the siding or whatever, which we can actually see from your living room. Literally, it's right there.
We told them they needed to be a green business,
and
they're like,
and they're like, okay. I mean, it remains to be seen what the actual exterior will look like. I would be bummed out if I were living here and watching that go up. At least it's across the creek. Like, at least it's not right across the street from you. Like, you can't see it, but it's a little far back.
You know, I used to wave at the Lazoom bus every day from my door.
And now you can't see the Lazoom bus.
Yeah, it reminds me of 10 years ago when they built that house nobody wanted, that they fit into that field. Yeah. I used to watch people walk across Chestnut all the time out of my bed.
And now you can't see them.
And then all of a sudden there was this silver roof that looks like a shed.
Yeah, that's the thing. It changes
and they stopped him from making those houses because the citizens decided that's not right. Ugly. They had some rule that you don't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
But the problem is if we do disagree and wanted to have things a certain way, if we don't have a plan laid out of what we want, we're not going to go to city council every week. We'll have to watch our
that's a really good point. Well, and that's why we tried to elect city council leaders that understood this is what we'll tolerate, this is what we don't want. And by and large, they're sort of trying to hear us out on that stuff, but
it's pretty ineffective.
Developers have big money, you know. I mean, it really just ends up being about money, and it's the Chamber of fucking Commerce. Yeah.
And then
don't get me started on them.
City council. And then they get it in their minds. We in Asheville try to get the most progressive city council members we can, and then I noticed as Asheville grew, some of what Asheville thinks is progressive is a little bit centrist.
Yep.
And not only did they think they were getting more progressive council people, when they actually voted out the most progressive that we've ever had.
Which
was? At the time, Cecil.
Oh, yeah.
And then, no, these guys are more progressive than him.
Yeah. They didn't,
And then, now all of a sudden there's all the things we didn't want, and the hotels that we weren't supposed to get.
I don't think
and nobody goes to council to hardly fight, and if you do,
well, you know that they did
just that it's canceled.
You know that they did just approve the 1-year moratorium on hotels, so that's good news, because that actually backs up like potential incoming projects by 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So that made me happy. I was pleasantly surprised that decision happened. Yeah, exactly. Like, let's figure out what we actually want. And if people want to work in this town, that's my thing always is like, if developers want to work in this town or any town, work with the rules that they've given you. You know, like, work with the aesthetic that the people there want. But the whole reason people want to move here is because it's awesome. So the new development should, at the very least, not get in the way of the awesome. Yeah. Ideally, maybe they contribute to the awesome. But
tell you how loud that damn drum circle is.
Right.
So we're gonna I love Asheville, but you're gonna have to stop the drum circle. Otherwise,
Yeah.
So those are all things that like hit people in their own individual personal ways. I'd rather shop for cool clothes and not corporate clothes downtown. I'd rather this and that. And that is something that gets overlooked, in my opinion, because the overdevelopment has such major physical consequences. Other than that, but holding the culture of Asheville, to me, I mean, all we've done is destroy cultures in our country and in our cities, and now those liberal bastion Austins and Asheville's, and they're being gentrified in just the same way. If South Park can do a whole season about it and they get it, then it's a problem. And we have a big broken down area that's just slightly less popular than downtown, where they can go build all this and gentrify it.
Where's that?
We're making the river area nice.
Yeah.
That's good gentrification.
I guess.
Better. But you don't go to where you don't need it and then tell everyone.
They took some things away during that made me sad. So.